I'm Denise Johansson, co-founder and co-CEO of Enfuse. And in today's episode of Everybody Should Give a Damn, I have with me Louise. Hello. Louise, please introduce yourself.
Hi Denise, delighted to be here today, possibly one of the hottest days in London, and we're in a sauna together.
Yes.
Although I'm told I have to say sauna, not sauna, to be authentically Finnish. My name's Louise Hill. I am co-founder and CEO of GoHenry. And GoHenry is a prepaid debit card and financial education app for kids aged 6 to 18.
Yes. And kids and finances.
Yeah.
How do you get kids interested in finance? Isn't it like mommy, daddy paying for everything, money growing on trees? How do you get them excited?
That's why I started GoHenry. So 12 years ago, my kids were, how old were they? Probably about 8 and 10. And there I was stood in front of them on a Saturday morning. They'd both got their hands out and were expecting pocket money. And two problems from a parent perspective for me. I didn't have any change on me because I was using, like everybody else in the world, debit cards. And secondly, they'd already spent a fortune of my money on iTunes because they'd been lucky enough to have iPods for either their Christmas or their birthday presents. I'd given them the login to my iTunes account and they were merrily downloading lots of music, having a great time, without a care in the world, clearly not even thinking that money grew on trees, but not realising that it was spending money. And I was trying to figure out, how do I teach them that that's money? And what tools are there available for me as a parent to do that? And the more I looked, there weren't any tools. And the more parents I spoke to, the more variances, same story but different, were coming out. So a mum whose little girl had spent almost £600 on, I don't even remember what it was, hair bows for her little pony or something like that on a game. Somebody who'd run up a huge bill on an Xbox. One of my favourites, somebody whose 11-year-old son had managed to buy, he thought, a model car, wait for it, for £600, only it arrived on the back of a tow truck. It was a real car, and got deposited on his mother's driveway. So these
shouldn't be laughing.
Well, it is funny, but we were all having these same problems,
yes.
And yet there was nothing that existed in society to help parents teach their kids about money, give them access to money in the way that we were all using it. So contactless had just arrived in the UK, debit cards everybody was using, shopping online, but giving them access in a safe way. And so that was what myself and two other parents set out to do. Back in, 2010, we started with the idea, launched to the public in 2012. And you ask, how do you get kids interested? You get kids interested because they want to use money and they need to use money the way that adults use money. And so if it works for them. And we talk to parents. So when our marketing is directed at parents and presenting it as a financial education tool and a way that parents can set limits that work for them, for their individual children, for their individual beliefs, but also empower their kids. Give their kids a way to learn about money, become smart with money in the modern.
And it's been 11 years since it was launched publicly. There have been kids growing up to adults during the years. Can you see what an impact GoHenry have done for the society? What's the outcome if we teach the kids about finance early on?
I could answer that question so many ways. So there's a fantastic study that Cambridge University did a long time ago now that showed that children's financial habits, money habits, are formed by the age of 7. And if you think about that, that's quite terrifying.
It is.
In the UK, in England, financial education is not part of the primary school curriculum. Interestingly, it is in Scotland and in Wales, but not in the UK. There is financial education in the secondary curriculum, so 11 plus, but only 20% of schools in the UK have to follow the curriculum. So provision is at best poor. There are some centres of excellence, some schools doing a brilliant job, but 60% of children are leaving school saying they've had absolutely no financial education at all. So what impact do we have? We know that 92% of parents say their children are more confident with money after 3 months of using GoHenry.
That's impressive.
Yes, I'm proud of that stat, for sure. Completely independently, we did some work with the University of St Andrews a few months ago and asked them to research exactly the impact of a child's journey with GoHenry and what they've learnt and how that impacts their behaviours going forward. And they showed that after a child had done just one of our money missions, which are our in-app gamified money lessons, they started to save more. 3 months after they'd done a single money mission, they were still saving 10% more than they were before. And any child that had completed one of the levels in the money missions was systematically saving 50% more than they were before 6 months later. So real behaviour changes, not just anecdotal or nice comments from parents. It is real behaviour changes that we can demonstrate through kids going through the process of having a card, making their own decisions about money.
And I'm going to repeat this, I've said to you before, but you need to bring GoHenry to Finland. So I'm still waiting for it to educate my own kids to this, and when I hear the outcome of it, I'm very much looking forward to it. It's impressive with GoHenry, but that's not even it for you. You are doing more. You give a damn in a lot of ways. Please elaborate.
I do give a damn. I cared about this, obviously, when I realised that I couldn't teach my kids. There was nothing there to help me teach my kids. I cared enough to give up a fairly well-paid corporate career and start from the bottom and try and build this business. But part of what we've tried to do at GoHenry is also engage with other financial service providers, the government, education, charities, and try and convene everybody together to talk about financial education. I mentioned earlier on that there are centres of excellence. There's some really good work going on out there. There is a money and pension service study that showed there are 102 different delivery models of financial education in the UK. But 60% of kids are leaving school without any. So while there might be centres of excellence, there's a lot not happening and we're not reaching all the kids. So GoHenry's mission statement is to make every kid good with money. And that was a very deliberate choice of the word every. And we know we can't reach every child with GoHenry. So yes, I'm a trustee of a number of charities. One in particular is called the Centre for Financial Capability. And that's a charity that was formed specifically to bring together industry, charities, government, financial services in particular, to lobby for change, lobby the government to make financial education mandatory for every single primary age child in the UK, and also to find funding models and delivery models, evidence that they work, and then get those out there and get every child delivered some form of financial education before they leave school.
That's a good ambition, and that will have a great impact. So we are doing this campaign of everybody should give a damn. How can we get businesses to give a damn more broadly, and especially within fintech?
I think that's a really important question. It's going back to my answer to the previous question. It's something we've been trying to do as GoHenry. It's been something we've been trying to do with my trustee of the Centre for Financial Capability hat on. There are a number of ways. GoHenry is currently lobbying government. We will be putting out a public petition, and believe me, I will be going to every fintech I can think of and have on my contact list and asking all of my contacts to do the same, asking people to join in lobbying the government to make this mandatory in the UK. And then secondly, the Centre for Financial Capability has a good number of financial service providers and fintechs who are members, and they pay a small membership fee each year, and that enables the centre to fund its work in trying to drive this agenda forward in the UK, and it would be fabulous if people joined that.
Yes, so it shouldn't be too hard to find something. Like, everybody should give a damn, and if you just open your eyes and see what initiatives is out there already as of today, it will be quite easy to do a change. And
yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, I genuinely believe so. That there's an African proverb that talks about bringing up a child, and it says to bring up a child successfully, you need a village.
Yes.
And I think the same approach applies to financial education. If we bring together industry, charities, government, parents and schools, we can't fail to succeed.
Thank you, Louise, for joining us.
Thank you.